Welcome to Leadership Unleashed, the show that will explore the multifaceted world of leadership through insightful interviews, thought-provoking discussions, and practical advice from leaders throughout Westchester County and beyond.
Today, we're excited to bring you a special episode of Leadership Unleashed featuring Doug Thornton, president of Accredited Limousine Service and a 2026 Hall of Fame winner of the Chairman's Recognition Award. Doug, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege.
We are also very happy to have Westchester Medical Center as the sponsor of the Leadership Unleashed podcast. Thank you so much for your support.
This is the coming home you dream about.
But getting here was unimaginable.
At 25 weeks, I was hemorrhaging badly, losing amniotic fluid. Fortunately, I was taken to Westchester Medical Center, where they have the most advanced care in the Hudson Valley for high-risk pregnancies and premature babies. And because we were there, now we're here.
WMC Health, advancing care here.
So, Doug, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and the work that you do.
Well, I'm a 36-year veteran of the industry. I started working for my family actually at the age of 8, washing cars and preparing vehicles for my father when he was starting his company back in about 1978. And since then, I did every aspect of the business, from driving to dispatching to managing fleets and everything you could think of. I have been in the sedan and SUV business for most of the career, but as of 2018, I then transferred into the bus and large group transportation. So I'm now in the bus business as well.
So it's really something that's in your blood from as long as you can remember.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm very glad to hear, though, it was car washing you were doing at 8 years old and, and not other things. So that's good to know. Now, you obviously, you've mentioned sort of the transition of how you've done different vehicles throughout your career. But what do you think of, corporate clients and choosing a professional card service over rideshare? Like, why do you think that's important?
Well, one of the biggest differences between a rideshare company and a company such as Accredited Limousine is the idea of duty of care. The idea that the employee and their safety is paramount while they're traveling locally and abroad. We take a approach where getting the client to and from wherever the destination is as a priority. We have to make sure that the licensing for the driver, the vehicle maintenance, the weather conditions, the flight tracking, there's a lot of things that go into a trip to make sure that the ride goes successfully and the executives get to and from the destination that they need to get to safely and on time.
So there's definitely a level of customer service and not having to think so much through everything. Everything's sort of taken care of for you.
Oh, there's a ton of behind the scenes that happens.
That nobody knows about.
That has no idea, and they're not supposed to.
No, it gives peace of mind, and that's, I would think, important, especially traveling nowadays. It's crazy. So having that peace of mind is super important. Mm-hmm. What would you say, I'm sure you have so many stories with so many years in the business, but what would you say is the most challenging job that you've handled successfully?
Well, a lot of them are challenging, but as of recently, we just had one where we had an executive who was traveling from New York through Spain to London to Germany to DC, then back to New York. And once they landed in London, the meetings changed. And then so we had to figure out with our partners overseas, different countries, different time zones, different work rules, how to make these things happen, and that to manage the flights, the new flights, and just make adjustments. Our company is 24/7. We have an entire overnight team that works for us. So it's not, we can't afford to take time dropping the ball with messages and emails, and we get back to you whenever we have to have 24/7 response.
And because you're sort of working internationally, what might be a given here is not necessarily a given overseas, and then you have to navigate all of
There's
that.
There's cancellation rules that are different over there, a lot of different work rules. And there could be events. There could be an economic forum in another city. There could be a air show. There could be a military situation. And you just have to be prepared at all times for different actions that you need to take.
Again, that peace of mind when traveling. What would you say, though, I think we all learn from travel mistakes. There isn't one of us out there that probably hasn't made one and hasn't learned from it. What would you say is the biggest mistake people make when booking transportation, and how would you direct them otherwise?
Searching for the lowest price.
Okay.
There's always a reason that things cost what they do. And I find that when people search for the lowest price, they're not paying attention to, well, what happens if that lowest price choice doesn't have a replacement vehicle if the car breaks down? What happens if they're not properly licensed? What happens if, God forbid, there's an accident? Are they covered? Who's covered? Workers' comp issues. There's a ton of different things that can happen with a lower cost denominator that's out there today.
So you really do get what you pay for, and so it's important for people to do
there.
there. So when advising people, obviously doing their due diligence and their research and whatnot is really of the utmost importance.
Absolutely.
Especially with transportation.
And when you wait to the last minute, a lot of times people wait to the last minute. They believe that booking a ride, you can just hit a button on a phone, and that kind of limits your choices. At least there's a number of high-end profile operators here in the county that you can choose from, and you can call around and find what makes more comfortable for you. Most importantly, when you call a company like Accredited Limousine Service, we're small enough to know your name, but large enough to cover the entire world for you. So there's a rapport, and we're going to make sure you're okay from the time you leave to the time you get back.
Thank you for that. Now, Hall of Fame, it's coming up at this 25-year milestone, 25th Annual Business Council of Westchester Hall of Fame. How does this recognition reflect in your journey?
Well, I'm still here. I've got to tell you that it's been a journey and a challenge. The business itself is always changing. You have new fads. You have the electric car. You have corporations wanting you to be mindful of climate. Then you have the Ubers of the world. You have regulations that are constantly changing from the government, licensing, fees, always more fees, the insurance market. Then you have events. I was around for 9/11. One day I had a full board of work, and next day it was gone. How do you manage that? How do you manage payments? How do you manage vehicles? How do you manage metal? How do you manage employees? You have the 2008 financial crisis. Another thing no one saw coming. Then all of a sudden, business stopped traveling. And last but not least, COVID-19. How do you manage the world just stopping? All of a sudden, your employees are no longer working with you. They're working remotely. And trying to keep people in the industry. Because a lot of people didn't want to come back to car service and ground transportation to drive and work in that because they just got stung really bad. So I'm still here. Hall of Fame. Okay, I'll take it. Thank you. I'm happy to be
Absolutely,
here.
our pleasure. Well, even you said it earlier. You started out in one avenue of the business. You've dabbled in some others now, but you've really also transformed your business based on the need, and you've risen to meet whatever that need is. And that's sort of one of the testaments of Hall of Fame are these businesses that have, been around, they have stuck it through, and then they have continually transformed to meet the needs of their clients and of the community. And that's incredibly important.
For sure.
Where do you see your leadership and innovation headed next? What's the next 25 years looking like?
Well, one of the newest fads that we're talking about now is AI. And how does AI affect the business? And how do I able to use the tools of AI to have agents per se assist my agents? I'm not looking to replace people. I'm looking to enhance what they do, to find all the errors that can happen because we're human. We're all human. I make mistakes. And how to enhance the services to the customers. That's one of the things that we're looking to do, including looking to grow the company and maybe open an operation in Washington, D.C., or an operation in Miami to grow my network. It's one of the things I'm looking to do going forward this couple years. Incredible.
Well, everything you just shared is exactly why you and Accredited Limousine Service is receiving the Chairman's Recognition Award this year at the 2026 Hall of Fame. Thank you again for joining us today, Doug. It was great having you as a guest on Leadership Unleashed. Thank you again to our sponsor, Westchester Medical Center, and to our listeners. Please be sure to join us on Tuesday, April 28th at Glen Island Harbor Club as we celebrate Doug and the other incredible honorees at our annual Hall of Fame Awards. It'll be a night night you won't want to miss. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Be sure to check out the BCW Podcast Network's expansive lineup of shows: Leadership Unleashed, What's Trending, Advocacy and Politics Unplugged, The Member Spotlight, and Nonprofit Voices of Impact. The Business Council of Westchester is the county's largest business membership organization focusing on economic development and advocacy. With over 1,100 members, it is our mission to work for the profitability of our members and the prosperity of the Westchester community. To learn more about the Business Council of Westchester, please go to thebcw.org.